Imagine reigning over a kingdom that spans the length of an entire civilization. Your word is law, your will unchallenged. Ancient Egypt was a land of power, mystery, and ambition, where rulers were more than just leaders. They were gods on earth. But who were the pharaohs that truly shaped history? In this video, we'll reveal the top 5 most powerful pharaohs in ancient Egypt. And trust me, you don't want to miss number 1. Stick around because what happens next might change how you view history forever. The rise of power, pharaohs who set the stage. 1. Narmer, the first pharaoh. Let's start at the very beginning. Narmer, also known as Menes, was the founder of Egypt's first dynasty. His rise is nothing short of legendary, uniting Upper and Lower Egypt around 3100 BCE. The man who would become Egypt's first pharaoh didn't just conquer lands, he conquered hearts, minds, and the future of an entire civilization. Think about this. A single ruler wielding such immense power that he managed to consolidate 2 distinct kingdoms into one. Imagine the fear and resistance from those who had lived their whole lives separate. Narmer's military genius and political strategy turned Egypt from a fragmented land into a superpower of the ancient world. But here's the question. What did Narmer do to secure such lasting control? Hold on to that thought, because we're going to dive deeper into the idea of legacy soon. 2. Ramses II, the Great Builder. Fast forward a few millennia, and we meet Ramses II, also known as Ramses the Great. If there was ever a pharaoh who really knew how to build his legacy, it was him. Ramses ruled Egypt for 66 years. Yes, 66 years. During his reign, he expanded Egypt's empire to its greatest territorial extent. But it wasn't just through military conquest. He understood the power of architecture and propaganda. You know those massive statues of pharaohs you see in museums? Ramses practically invented that style of self-promotion. His temples, his monuments, every corner of Egypt was stamped with his greatness. But hold on, did you know that despite all his victories, Ramses faced a battle that might surprise you? One that could have crushed his reign. I'll get to that in just a moment. The Golden Age 3, Hatshepsut, the queen who became a pharaoh. Let's shift gears for a second. Hatshepsut, one of the most successful pharaohs, defied the odds by ascending to the throne. Born to a royal family, she ruled for over 20 years during the 18th dynasty, but it wasn't her royal bloodline that made her remarkable. It was her boldness. As a woman in a male-dominated society, Hatshepsut didn't just rule, she thrived. She expanded Egypt's trade routes, initiating a historic expedition to the land of Punt, which brought in wealth that boosted Egypt's economy. But that's not even the craziest part. She dressed as a man, wore a false beard, and adopted the title King of Egypt. Her reign was peaceful and prosperous, yet her legacy was nearly erased by her successor. Why would someone try to destroy the memory of such a powerful leader? The answer may shock you, and we'll uncover it soon. 4. Thutmose III, the Napoleon of Egypt. Now meet the pharaoh who was known as the Napoleon of Egypt, Thutmose III. This guy was a military genius who earned his place as one of the most feared conquerors in Egyptian history. He was co-regent with his stepmother Hatshepsut, but after her death, he set out to cement his place in history through battle. Thutmose III waged 17 military campaigns, stretching Egypt's empire from the Euphrates River all the way to Nubia. His genius wasn't just in his tactics, though. He knew how to build alliances and leverage Egypt's power for strategic dominance. But as powerful as his military career was, there's a twist. You see, despite his successes, Thutmose had a dark secret, one that could have ruined everything he fought for. Are you ready to find out what it was? The Twilight of Power, 5 Akhenaten, the rebel pharaoh. And now the most controversial and misunderstood of all the pharaohs, Akhenaten. This pharaoh is remembered not for military conquests, but for a religious revolution that nearly tore Egypt apart. Akhenaten is famous for abandoning Egypt's traditional polytheistic religion and elevating a single god, Aten, to supreme status. Imagine living in a society where gods were everywhere. Suddenly, your pharaoh says, "Forget everything. There's only one God." Talk about shaking things up. His reign wasn't just about religion, though. Akhenaten's abandonment of Egypt's rich cultural traditions left the kingdom in turmoil. His successors, like the infamous Tutankhamun, spent years trying to undo the chaos he created. But here's where things get even more intriguing. Was Akhenaten a visionary ahead of his time, or was he just a ruler whose ambitions spiraled out of control? So why does any of this matter today? These pharaohs weren't just rulers. They were architects of history. Their decisions shaped the course of civilizations, and their legacies echo through the ages. From the military might of Thutmose III to the religious revolution of Akhenaten, each of these figures played a pivotal role in the evolution of ancient Egypt. And while some of their reigns ended in chaos or destruction, they showed us the dangers and glories of absolute power. But here's a final question. What would you do with absolute power if you were in their shoes? Would you build monuments to your greatness? Or would you try to change the world forever? If you want more insights into the minds of history's most powerful leaders, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, because this journey into the past is just getting started. Until next time, keep questioning, keep learning, and stay curious. The story of history is far from over.